1864. We were first class then, and we're first class now. With a dream to spread cricket through Lancashire's towns, where girls and boys, with willow and leather, become more than a badge, but the red rose together.
A club where more than legends are made, but friendships, obsessions, moments replayed on our screens, in our minds, in our hearts forever. Because it's who we are, our DNA, the red rose together.
Statham, Briggs, Jimmy, Freddie and Joss, Chappie, Sir Clive Lloyd, Carol Hodges, Kate Cross. What a roll call. It's a hard one to measure, with future names still to be written on the red rose together.
We're all about people. It's what the red rose really means. Yeah, the ones signing autographs, but the ones behind the scenes.
Our community, grassroots, the ones that feel tethered. Whether you're from here or belong here, we're the red rose together.
And what about this place? Talk about world-class venues, internationals, gigs, events. You can choose from a menu of triumph, of disaster, of pain, or pleasure.
We've seen it all at Emirates Old Trafford, with the red rose together.
Red ball, white ball, lightning and thunder.
Have you ever sat back? Have you ever just wondered how far we've come? The storms we've weathered, or how far we'll go as the red rose together.
Welcome to Conrad Dubai. Here's your key.
Thank you. Let me help you with the bags.
Nice room.
How's that? How's that?
How's that?
In 1954, Cyril Washbrook became the first professional captain of the county.
Lancashire have won a tremendous victory here. Indeed he has, and his face is what a
Well, the real thrust of that innings came from Hagen's Fairbrother.
fine chance to run to the winning hit. On come the crowd.
This is a call for hungry dreamers and hard-working self-believers. Success is down to more than just luck and talent. It's striving to be the best, breaking the boundaries and never giving up. Are you ready to become your best self? Are you ready to unlock your greatness? So what are you waiting for? This is Education Evolved. This is UA 92.
sessions. All the fun and all the games, they all start here with All Stars Cricket. All new experiences for everyone. All over the country. Every session is all-out action all the time. All welcome, all invited. Even mums and dads. Skills, friendships, smiles, dreams. It all happens here. All you need is delivered right to your door. Best of all, it even has your name on it. All the activators are fully trained, and all they want is for us to have a great time. Always. Have ball, catch, throw, try it all. It's time to go all in, all together. And it all starts with All Stars. All you need to get started is at allstarscricket.co.uk.
Against the seamers, look to want to get after it, but against the spinners, he's a little bit calm. Be a bit smarter in terms of your field settings. Fucking stop them being able to turn it over. Allow the bowlers to fucking bowl multiple deliveries. Just get a couple of wickets, and then maybe you can kind of get a bit more funky with it. But just that.
Hello, 1 2 1 2 1 2.
Okay, and I'll be speaking. County Championship game between Lancashire and Kent. Two sides at the bottom of Division 1, two sides desperate for a win. The weather looks set fair this morning, some showers around this afternoon, but it should just take this morning to decide which way this game is going. Kent require another 93 runs with 9 wickets in hand. With Bell Drummond and Compton at the crease, two excellent spinners playing for Lancashire, and Nathan Lyon and Tom Hartley. So it is set up perfectly. There is the match summary. Kent were inserted on day one by Lancashire, 261, and following on 332. Lancashire in their first innings. If they lose this game, that is where they lost this game, 92 all out. But Paul Allott, still plenty of work to do for those batters sitting in that Kent dressing room.
Certainly is, Nasser. There's a little bit of help in the pitch now for the Lancashire spinners. Nathan Lyon and Tom Hartley, who've bowled 13 overs between them last evening, just starting to get a little bit of grip, turn and bounce. That beating everybody, batter, keeper and Tom Hartley spinning the ball away from Bell Drummond.
Yeah, I thought it was a fascinating last half hour of play last night. Crawley was gone to the new ball. Balderson did for him, and then they delayed having two spinners come on. But when the two spinners came on, it was really what county cricket should be all about. On a wearing pitch, two good players in Compton and Bell Drummond against two excellent spinners. Nathan Lyon, 530 test wickets. Tom Hartley recently making his debut in India for England. That is what county cricket's about. And this morning will be fascinating to see if Kent can get over the line.
Well, you're quite right in your summation, Nasser, that if Lancashire go on to lose this game, and they're favourites to lose at the moment, it'll be because they were 92 all out in their first innings. The whole point about putting Kent in was to get Lyon and Hartley bowling on a fourth day pitch here that would offer them a little bit of assistance, some bounce and some turn. Well, they are bowling on a fourth day pitch, but there's only 93 needed.
Yeah, they'd probably want another 150 on top of that to defend. Who would you start, the two spinners, or would you go? I mean, Balderson has really impressed me in this game. He could do with an extra yard of pace, but he's got a lot of skill. Or because the runs are so few, you'd start with your spinners because they give you control as well.
I think Keaton Jennings will start with Lyon and Hartley this morning, given that there was so much encouragement in the last 20 minutes, half hour last evening when they were bowling in tandem. There's not really an awful lot in it for the seamer now. I don't think Lancashire haven't got anybody of express pace. If they've got a quick bowler, then you may just try a couple of overs from him, but they haven't. So you've got to go with your strength, and I think at the moment that's got to be Lyon and Hartley.
And to be fair, we showed you a couple of deliveries that spun late yesterday, but this is a good pitch. As Paul Allott has mentioned here, often we talk about Old Trafford like it is an absolutely crumbling pitch. It turns a bit, it bounces, which is what Lyon will like, but it's a good pitch to bat on, so there's no gremlins that you shouldn't fear. And it's good for you to bat on a pitch against two quality spinners. That's what it's about. And they have to start again. That's why I would start with Lyon and Hartley. Just, you're vulnerable when you first start against spin with men round the bat.
And the bonus, of course, is that the pitch bounces. It's hard now. Started tacky, but it's hard now. It dried out completely yesterday into what we consider to be a pretty good batting pitch. But there is always bounce for the spinners. And Nathan Lyon, very good at extracting that little bit of overspin as well. It's a question of how much side and overspin he puts on the ball. But it is going to be Nathan Lyon to start from the Statham end, and it's an attacking field, which it's got to be, with a slip, a silly point and a short leg so far, short extra cover as well, and Compton on strike.
Yeah, he had a couple of close-ish LBWs yesterday, bowling round the wicket. He asked Ian Ward this morning as he walked past him, what were those LBs like, Wardy? And Ian Ward just said, outside the line, Nathan, get on with it. And that is exactly what he's doing this morning. He starts us off and finds a bit of turn straight away.
Well, it turned certainly, Nasser, but the bounce was good as well. It nearly hit Maddie Hurst on the left shoulder, this.
Great start from Lyon.
Begs the question how Kent are going to play this. You mentioned in your preamble that there might be a thunderstorm around later. From 1 o'clock, they're saying that's lunchtime.
Oh, now doesn't carry. Doesn't carry.
Wells at slip, diving forward and to his left.
The catching in the game has been excellent from both sides. It's unusual at Old Trafford for a regulation outside edge of a spinner not to carry, especially with the bounce Lyon gets.
It's come up half a pace. Wells just shuffling up there. You could just see him coming a little bit closer. Got to give yourself a chance, obviously, but you're right, Nasser. If the ball bounces, it usually carries. I like that line as well. It's tempting Compton to try and hit it through the leg side. But you don't want to be playing against the spin after you've seen the first 4 balls of the morning turn like they have.
Quicker, flatter, and the first runs of day 4. Outfield slightly quicker today because of the sun yesterday, but an excellent start from Lyon. It's exactly what you want from your overseas spinner. 73 for 1.
And he won't be too disappointed that Compton played the shot he did in off the final ball. Don't like the way Lyon's holding his side. That's the second time he's done that. But that was sort of indeterminate stroke from Compton. I thought it was a bit shorter, but it was actually quicker. Got himself 2 runs without too much worry, but it won't trouble Lyon too much to see that sort of shot being played.
No, he'll be more concerned about that rear ball side that he was just holding there. It will be spin at both ends. A lot of talk about Nathan Lyon joining Lancashire and what effect it would have on Hartley. Hartley hasn't played much simply because of the weather. In the first game he played, he didn't bowl because it rained. Well, Drummond's going to have to hurry there. It's a good bit of fielding, and he had to get his skates on.
A bit of a loosener from Hartley and clipped through mid-wicket. But Lyon was quickly to it. Look as though he's moving too well, Nathan Lyon, to be perfectly frank.
He's still holding that side, isn't he?
And that throw off balance won't have helped it if he's got a little bit of stiffness there. Interesting field now for Hartley. Slip, leg slip, short leg, 2 short mid-wickets.
Yeah, and some rough for the left-hander. Compton would have been brought up with rough outside his off-stump. Left-handers have had to cope with that as long as the game's been played, so it's not an unusual one, but here there is a bit of rough, and there should be some bounce for the tall Hartley. Keep an eye on these singles. It cannot afford just for batters to be ticking it around. You think of the best players of spin, the ones that knock it around, the likes of Pujara and Root, who are quick on their feet. No easy singles.
It's another loosener from Hartley. I was just going to say, why have we got a deep mid-wicket? Well, I know now.
Yeah, I said yesterday, and I've said it about Tom Hartley, he just needs to work on his control of length. And we've seen that here. If you compare Lyon and his control of length to Hartley, just occasionally that drags it down, or a full toss, under pressure as well. Oh, now, that's short, it's close.
Well, short again from Hartley, but it might have skidded through, hurried through a little. Oh, I tell you, that's quite close. Hit on the back thigh. To no avail, not out.
It's not far away. I mean, it wasn't a ball that deserved a wicket. The umpire doesn't put that in the equation. All that he's got to do is, was it hitting in line? Was it hitting the stumps? Was it going over? It was a drag down again. Oof. Very good. That's a better length. Eventful start. 76 for 1.
Well, we've seen enough in the first 2 overs, one from Lyon, one from Hartley, to now know that it's not going to be easy for Kent to get these remaining runs. 93 they needed at the start of play. Picked off a couple of singles and a 2. It ain't going to be easy.
Rain down south. Rain and mizzle up here in the first couple of days. We lost quite a bit of time for weather and light. Cricket was played with the lights on and seam dominated. As it dried out yesterday, spin now dominates.
Bell Drummond on strike. You know, he was proactive yesterday, looking to get on with it. And the intention looks similar this morning.
Paddle sweep will bring him a couple. Got to be careful with that one because of the bounce. You can top edge that.
Well, I like the innovation from Compton, but I think Lyon and Lancashire will like the way that he's played too, because there's a risk to that, a real risk of top edge, missing it for a start, top edge. Well, one's already gone just short of Wells to slip. There's another one there, so it may be that he needs a second slip, Nathan Lyon, to the left-hander.
Well, at the end of this comp stint, you're going to have a beefy field.
We're going to have 15 fielders, you're quite right. Decent ball, that extra cover's wide open. There's Tom Bailey at mid-off and Williams at backward point, nobody between them. Just tempting Bell Drummond to hit through the offside.
$80 for 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1.
well, very cat and mouse so far this morning. Encouragement for Lancashire. And Kent just looking to engineer the ball around. No big shots played as yet. Just singles and twos into gaps.
See that man, unless they want him to try and sweep, but he's knocked it behind square for a single. Try and get that man up. Keep Compton on strike. Unless they want to try and knock it and then it bounces and it ends up in the hands of leg slip, we shall see.
Started off with 2 short mid wickets. The square of those has now gone to square leg, so 4 fielders basically square the wicket if you count the leg slip as well.
It is an art to try and find those footholds. He's got to be a bit brave and go a bit wider. Down the pitch and not in complete control, but he'll get a boundary, the first of the day.
Well, it was a safe shot with fielders in the ring. Might have looked a hint of desperation at the end because he really had to reach for it. Got enough bat on it. And got it over the infield and away for 4. Keaton Jennings will keep the field in. There's always a temptation when shots played like that to move a fielder out onto the boundary, but not on this occasion. Well, the learning process goes on for Tom Hartley. I mean, up until his selection for the tour of India last winter, and he was a left field pick for that, there's no question, because his 4-day bowling, his red ball bowling, had not really come to the fore. He bowled well in India, there's no question that he did that, but he's still learning how to bowl on the 4th day of a match, how to get the best out of a pitch.
$85 for 1. Discussion going on out there. And usually a bit of a knocker and a nerdler. It doesn't look like that shot came naturally to him. The bat just turned in his hand, the bat face closed, but it was proactive. You do have to have some release shots, and that looks like one he's going to go for. He may be different against the off spinner, turning away from the bat.
Plenty of chat going on in the field as Jennings and Bahanan talking almost continually. Lyons had a chat as well with both of them. The result of that is that Jennings will go in and go to that position
where you suggested.
Yeah, and they haven't brought another fielder on the field. Nice. what it's done is effectively leave an enticing gap between square cover and mid-off. So that extra cover area is free now that Jennings has gone into second slip.
He's going to have to hurry. And the dive. Looked like he was struggling, and that's why he put in the big dive.
Poor run. He survived because Tom Bailey's missed the stumps, but had he hit, Compton would have been on his way.
Just out there if it hits. Bailey again, as Lyon was earlier, throwing off balance, missed the stumps.
Positive aggression from Bell Drummond, didn't get any runs for it. It was aggressive strokes. Lyon's coming over the wicket now.
Just a change of angle, slip goes a bit finer to the right-hander, leg slip will go a little bit wider because of the change of angle from the bowler. A lot of rough to aim at. There is one hole that Matt Parkinson found just before lunch on day 2. It's not a massive area.
Very full as well. Outside off stump of Bell Drummond. Really think Lyon's considering an appeal for that. He's looking questioningly at the umpire. Bell Drummond quick on his feet, covered everything up, just padded the ball away with a hint of a shot as well.
Cross on off stump there to counter that angle from Lyon over the wicket, 86 for 1.
Good news for Lancashire is that Nathan Lyon has stopped feeling that left side, the ribs, so maybe it was just a bit of stiffness.
.261, 86 for 1, plays 92. There's the anomaly in the game. 332, better second time round following on. There's a lot of debate about the follow-on. In the end, Kent decided that that was the best way to go. So far, so good. A very unusual field, unless someone's gone in the wrong position, probably a dopey opening bowler. But there is no one in front of square on the offside. So he's saying, go on, have a big booming drive, extra cover, mid-off. You can have one there. The only problem is you could bring a single on the offside by just pushing it. Bowled it down the leg side.
Puts enormous pressure on Tom Hartley. He's probably feeling he's got to bowl it quicker. He's certainly not got to be floating it up outside off stump too much, too full.
I'd say at the moment, looking down on Lancashire, there's a bit too much tinkering going on with the field. There's captain, vice-captain, bowler, overseas, pro. There's a lot of tinkering every ball. Just let your bowlers settle into rhythm. Give them one field.
Couldn't agree more. As constant tinkering and variation in field doesn't allow bowlers to settle. They can't get themselves grooved into nice line and length, which is what you need on a surface like this that is offering help.
Just wanted that to clip the pad first. That's what he wanted, but it didn't.
Kept low, didn't it? It's good length, that. Good length. I think the pace deceived Bell Drummond. He was going back to a ball that was relatively full.
.87 for 1. Tick away at that target of 164. There's been one boundary hit down over mid-wicket from Compton. Again, plenty of chat, plenty of meetings.
Yeah, this is the second one because Luke Wells was in on the first one. He's disappeared to slip now. Nathan Lyon is as an experienced bowler as you get in world cricket. He's got 500 test wickets. Really, the discussion should not be about tinkering with the field. You just say to Nathan, come on, what are you happy bowling with, and get on with it.
Yeah, if you were bowling for Australia in this situation with a left-hander, right-hander, what field would you have? Please set your own field. I think you know what you're doing.
Kent will be happy. 17 runs scored in the first 22, 23 minutes. They'll be happy with that. No great alarms. Couple of thick outside edges, but nothing much else. Jennings dropping back to long on.
No, outside the line, and good running.
Yeah, that is good running. It's just off the pad into that short extra cover area. The question was sort of half-assed, but there's no chance of that. It's pitching outside off, and it's hitting way outside off with the shot being played, so no chance of being out LBW.
Asking a question of the umpire. He likes to chat to the umpire. It may be about whether he is playing a shot and things like that. There's always a debate, the spinner, whether they're kicking it away. They don't do it as much nowadays. Long debate there between bowler and umpire. And now again, Looks like there's 5 captains out there.
No extra cover, no mid-off. It's a strange field for an off-spinner to a left-hander with the shot being played, so no chance of being out LBW. I wonder whether Lyon was saying, was he playing a shot? Are you sure, umpire, that that was a legitimate stroke? That's probably all that he was asking.
Top edge with the bounce. Does it carry? I think it did. Put down. Williams at 45. That's the danger of sweeping Lyon. They need to take every chance. That's gone down.
It was a dolly. It's just looped in the air to Williams, who's made a meal of it. Basically, he had to dive, but it was going with no pace, just lobbed in the air, and Lancashire cannot afford anything like that if they're going to challenge Kent.
Yeah, you're right. He made it look harder than it was. It was in the air for a long time, almost like he didn't pick it up. And in the end, he was diving for it. But if he'd picked it up, it was a regulation chance. That overspin that we talk of Lyon creates bounce, and the bounce makes the sweep dangerous. Had it for a millisecond.
Nathan Lyon is now in a protracted conversation with Graham Lloyd, the other umpire. Still going. No idea what it's all about. He can't be talking to Graham Lloyd about batsmen not playing shots, but anyway. It's Hartley again. Oh.
Past the edge again.
Fairly deep set field that Hartley's got now. With 4 men out for Bell Drummond. Nasser, I've got to ask you a question. Hartley or Leach for the first test, given that both are fit? Who would you have?
Bashir. Good question. Leach needs to be doing a lot more bowling, but the tests are not till July. Very good question. Both have been brilliantly captained by Stokes. Stokes has a soft spot for Leach for so many different reasons. Obviously the Headingley game, but also how he's captained Leach and what Leach brings to that team. It's a good question. You've thrown me on that one. I think Bashir might be ahead of the other two because of the way he bowled in India.
Good way of evading the question, that, isn't it?
It was a good question. In England, in an English test summer with the Duke's ball, you'd want a spinner that gives you more control, I'd say. And I think Leach gives you more control than Hartley. Hartley bowls more wicket-taking deliveries, as we've seen here today.
He's being asked to bowl with control and precision here, isn't he, with this field? Nobody in front of square on the offside.
The pitch, short leg, does he go with him? He doesn't. I was going to say earlier, as a short leg, when you see the batter going, you've got to go with him. Keaton Jennings, who's brilliant in there, can't do it as captain, obviously. He used to go down.
Not sure he's hit it.
No, I think it's just pad, but just that short leg, I think it's Bell in there, has to go with the batter. Keaton Jennings wants another helmet out there. He wants 2 short legs in.
This is a bit of ball following going on here. Might have got a bit of bat on that. I didn't think he did initially. Might have been an inside edge. We'll never know. Delay is for the helmet that is being ferried out from the changing room, or not, as the case may be.
And I said Keaton Jennings, who is brilliant in there but can't do it because he's captain. That's exactly what he's going to do. One of the best in the game in there. Slip, leg slip, short leg, silly mid-on. Bruce in at silly mid-on. Hard sweep. An eventful first half hour. It's 91 for 1.
Tough going this morning for Kent, Compton and Bell Drummond. They've added 20 or so in the first half hour. There's been a drop catch by Will Williams at 45 off a top edge sweep, and both spinners have looked like they're in the game. Ball is spinning a little, and there's always bounce here at Old Trafford, so if you do get an inside edge onto pad, or fairly certain that it's going to carry to one of those close fielders. Lancashire still in the game, but they need a wicket, need a breakthrough. Morning, Butch.
Morning, Gath. Nathan Lyon had built up pressure, built up dots on Compton. He likes to nudge the ball and get off strike, so he tried that paddle sweep. It really should have been taken by Williams. He might not have picked it up initially. It had no pace on it. It would have been spinning, but it should have been gobbled up. There's been a lot of movement in the field, changing catching options, etc. This is not a raging Bunsen like you might see in Chennai or Ahmedabad or somewhere like that. I think the key really here for Lancashire is to try and, as we spoke about last night, bowl lots of multiple deliveries at the same batter. And I'd be tempted to sort of remove one or two of the catchers, just block up areas where batters are getting singles and just keep them there. Just keep them nailed in, don't let them get off strike. And then you get the odd ball that does something, and that's where your wicket comes from.
Good catch, really good catch from Nathan Lyon. Compton was down the pitch, driving firmly, and Lyon sensed the opportunity there, and he moved smartly to his right and took an excellent catch.
Yeah, very, very good from Nathan Lyon. Compton had started to fret in the last couple of overs when those singles had been dried up for him. Started to look for something a little bit more extravagant. And that is a fantastic catch off his own bowling by Nathan Lyon. They've got to break through. They've got 8 more to get, but it's 91 for 2.
Sense that pressure was building on both, well, Compton especially, and Bell Drummond. Lancashire had already given Compton one chance. The catch was put down at short fine leg, but Nathan Lyon wasn't going to let one go of his own bowling. It's a very good catch. It was hit reasonably firmly, but Lyon got across smart. It was a nice catching height for a bowler. Now it's 2 right-handers to have a crack at as Jack Leaning comes to the crease.
Yeah, Compton didn't quite get as close to it as he would have liked, sort of hit it on the up. And if you're hitting it on the up, you need to be going hard and high, almost trying to hit it for 6, but he tried to sort of just punch it down the ground, as is his wont, really. No real follow through. A nudger and a nerdler. And Lyon was equal to the task.
If I was at the non-strikers end there, Butch and you, my partner, had just driven that, I might have just backed up a yard or 2 to get in front of Nathan Lyon. Oh, now! No, it's off pad. Went to slip. Wondered whether there was an inside edge. But straight off the pad.
The dark arts, eh, Michael? This is going to be tricky. The new batter coming in. Again, try and get as many deliveries at him as you can. Maybe get an extra catcher in when the man is on naught. Still clutching that side, Nathan Lyon. There's no evidence of it last night. But after his very first over this morning, he seemed to be a little bit uncomfortable. He's now talking about the direction in which the breeze is coming from. Hartley and Lyon, in the traditional sense, are bowling from the wrong ends as far as the breeze is concerned. And I think they're more interested in where the rough is on the pitch itself, which is why Lyon is at the Statham and Anderson, Hartley is at the Anderson end.
Yeah, the prevailing wind here usually comes from the west, so you'd think the natural end for The off spinner is the old pavilion end where Hartley is operating to use the breeze as well. But as you say, you've got a couple of factors to take into account. One is the breeze, the other is what does it look like on at ground level. It's just a bit more rough at the end line is bowling into. That's why they've chosen those ends. Anyway, it's Hartley now. He's got two right-handers. He's probably happy to see the back of Compton as the left-hander.
Come on, Bob. 3-4, boys. Love that shot, Tommy. Get Parkinson out here. What's Parkinson?
Just saw that ball just sort of reverse drift from Hartley. Left arm spinner would normally try and drift it towards the pads and then turn it away. But perhaps that breeze is quite strong. It just seemed to go away before it pitched and then turned further from leaning. You had to grope for contact with the ball in that defensive stroke.
Leaning's just come to the crease. They've got essentially the same field for leaning that they have for Bell Drummond, which is to say cover it out on the deep, on the offside and on the leg, and it's just whether they could bring deep cover up, have confidence that Hartley is not going to bowl a short ball and get cut, and that would allow him to bring that man up, keep leaning on strike. You want to bowl 6 balls at the new batsman if you can, try and build some pressure on him immediately.
Yeah, just same again. That ball just sort of dying away from Bell Drummond before it pitches. Another long discussion. Just not sure that they kind of had the plan right from the start, to be honest. With as few runs as they've had to play with. And a pitch where you're not going to blast out the opposition. You have to be very certain about how you're going to go about it with the field.
Oh, beautiful delivery from Hartley. Lovely delivery. A bit of dip and sharp spin. Once again, a big appeal, but umpire Lloyd unmoved.
Yeah, every now and again. It's not every ball. Every now and again you get one like that. That's why it's so important to build up that pressure on the batters.
You see a ball go like that, and with 2 quality spinners in operation in tandem, you feel that 71 runs is still a fair distance away. Overpitched slightly on this occasion, just allows Bell Drummond an easy single. Well, this is what Keaton Jennings was hoping for really at the start of the game. He'd hoped for Lyon and Hartley bowling on the last day with that kind of help for them. Just hope for a few more runs though in the tank as well.
Yeah, needed to score 450 first time round instead of 92 for that. But because of the follow-on, they've ended up bowling last anyway.
Tandem, you feel that 71 runs is still a...
Bell Drummond's had a slightly charmed life since yesterday evening. 3 or 4 really big shouts against him for caught behinds and LBWs. But he's still there, 43 from 106. It's been tough going.
George Bell is at short leg and will feel in the game to Nathan Lyon with two right-handers at the crease. A bit of sharp spin and bounce wasn't far away from him. One short leg to pick for your life, Butch. Who are you going for?
David Boone was quite good, wasn't he, back in the day?
James Taylor,
Yeah, two stunners. Nadeem Shahid was brilliant in there with Saklan Mushtaq bowling. Living out in Durban now as Nad.
Brian Close, they used to say, was as brave as you like in their obviously pre-helmet days, and would just stand right under the batsman's armpit and take blows and catch them on the rebound off his nut.
And they tell me Mickey Stewart wasn't bad either in those uncovered pitches back in the day.
Did well to keep that down. The danger is there with the bounce, that looking to ride the ball and turn it, you just pop it into the hands of leg slip, but Leaning did well. For 2.
Much like your walk prior to the match starting at, it's a long, slow climb for Kent to get there. Lyon is heading for the pavilion, or the dressing rooms, I should say. He's not been comfortable since the very first over. Through 15 overs, 1 for 28. The fact that he's jogging off might lead you to think that perhaps he's just gone off for a comfort break. But if he doesn't reappear, then Kent's task becomes that much easier.
Bounce off the pitch, and you sometimes feel that when the batsman just prop forward, that were there a silly point, it could easily go to hand.
It's a position and a dismissal that's kind of gone out of the game, the modern era, the DRS era, because batters now get that bat way out in front of the pad because of the increased likelihood of getting out LBW should you miss it. The ball doesn't seem to squeeze off bat and pad to silly point as often as perhaps it used to.
No, you're more likely to get one straight off the bat now, and that's why he's there. George Bell just brought in, as we suggested he might be.
Come on, boys, 2 on it. 4 down, 16 to get. Come on, Tommy.
There's that single again that just allows Leaning to get off strike. It's that man at deep cover that we've talked about. If you bring him up, you have to have confidence that Hartley's not going to bowl a short ball that gets cut. Left arm spinner shouldn't get cut. I think if Phil Tuffney, who would be distraught if he got cut. He said, if I got cut more than a couple of times a day, that's too many. Absolute control of length. Might get a couple here, yeah.
Come on, Tommy boy. Yes, Tommy. Come on, boys.
Another easy single. Lancashire won't want to give away 3 or 4 relatively risk-free singles in over. There's Nathan Lyon. We wondered whether it was just a comfort break. For him, it looks as though there's no particularly serious concerns around injury, because it's about to come back on. A good over for Kent, 5 from 101 for 2. Well, trying to work out what the conversation is. I suspect it might be around a change of ends for the spinners. The breeze that we talked about would naturally favour the opposite ends for the spinners, and also just when not much is happening, when the batters look as though they're getting the upper hand, just to change things round is an option for the captain. So it may be a couple of overs of Balderson here, who's looked Lancashire's most likely seamer in the game so far, that would allow then the spinners to change ends.
Yeah, 36 overs old, a much drier outfield as well. And when you've got 2 spinners operating, landing the ball in the rough, you get a lot more damage and wear to the ball, and sometimes that can accelerate a bit of reverse swing. So worth having a look. Expect we'll see Lyon appear at the James Anderson end before long as well. Be interesting to see how Balderson reckons he might get a wicket here. You would think day 4 LBWs and bowls might be the thing you're looking for. Ball tailing in on that breeze, perhaps a bit of reverse.
Well, just in the last 10 minutes or so, Kent have started to pick up fairly easy singles. Importance of the fixture, as you can see there, from the updated and current Division 1 table, which sees Lancashire rooted to the bottom, Kent 3 points ahead of them. 2 teams will go down, of course. 2 will come up from Division 2. It's looking very tight at the top. Relatively early days, but 14 games, you're essentially a third of the way through the season. And 50 for Daniel Bell-Drummond, who's had an important role to play in this game, not just as a batter, and the important runs that he's scoring now, but he's had some quite interesting decisions to make as a leader and a captain in this game. He took the unfashionable route to victory, shall we say, by enforcing the follow-on, but right now you'd say that it may well be vindicated, given where Kent are. 59 away from the first victory here at Old Trafford in the Championship since 1997. $105 for 2. Well, as we thought, a change of ends for Nathan Lyon. He's going to come from the Anderson end now, or the Pavilion end, and that breeze, which is prevailing breeze from the west, should help him find a little more curve in the air. One would expect Hartley as well to swap ends and come from the Players' Pavilion end now.
Yeah, it certainly was a case that they were bowling from the wrong ends in terms of the breeze, but perhaps they felt that there was more rough to work with. But Nathan Lyon is such a brilliant flight bowler, that drift might just help him.
Well, just the 1 wicket to fall in the first hour. Ben Compton, who came down the wicket, had a drive, popped it straight back into the hands of Nathan Lyon. It was a good catch, actually. Moved very sharply away to his right. One other chance created, but that was Compton, who was dropped at short fine leg. Nicely played.
Yeah, he's been good, Bell-Drummond. Used every opportunity to use his feet. He's gone towards Nathan Lyon as he runs down the pitch. And just tucked the ball nicely either side of the short mid-wicket. Those fielders back on the fence, you just have to beat them and you get a single. Go and sit on your bat at the other end. I think that Lyon could, with his control, could definitely bring up the deep mid wicket and ask him to hit it over the top of him.
Well, George Bell at short leg there did do what Nasser suggested earlier on commentary. As Leaning was coming down the pitch, Bell began to move with him, shimmy with him,
Driven hard into the pitch, this last one from Nathan Lyon. Ball really kicked, but see that drift there? That was what he was lacking. Bowling against the breeze from the Statham end.
$106 for 2.
What are we going to do? Just be honest.
Kent's captain Daniel Bell-Drummond is standing firm for his team. He's 51 not out. Leaning has made 7. Just 1 wicket has fallen today at Emirates Old Trafford. That of Ben Compton, who was caught and bowled by Nathan Lyon. Well caught by Nathan Lyon. Zach Crawley, the other batsman to be dismissed yesterday. As Michael and Butch were saying, this is the change we expected. Just a change of ends for the 2 spinners. And Lyon found plenty of encouragement in that first over today from the Jimmy Anderson end, with some drift on the breeze and some sharp spin. So now Hartley gets a go at the Statham end. Short leg and a slip. 2 men back on the leg side boundary and point on the fence as well.
Yeah, it's tough going, but Kent will be happy with the first hour. They've scored 35 runs, lost just 1 wicket, so they're happy with that. There's been enough happening though for Lancashire to be buoyed by the fact that the bat has been beaten. There have been a couple of chances offered. Just a question about some of the fields. The field's set well back on the leg side, allowing singles to mid-on, mid-wicket, square leg, which to my mind doesn't put quite enough pressure on the Kent batters.
Whenever I'm watching a spin bowler in operation, there's some assistance. I'm mindful of all the information that was imparted to me about spin bowling from Shane. He hated singles. He said, I don't care if you hit me for 6. I know there's pressure on the amount of runs that Lancashire have got to play with, but he hated singles. And I need the batsman down that end for a period of time so I can work him over. And there's just been too many opportunities to get off strike afforded to the batsman. Aggression from Bell-Drummond. We haven't seen much of that from any of the Kent batsmen today. But he's taken the opportunity to take Hartley downtown and over mid-on for 4.
Well, it's a good shot from Bell-Drummond. I appreciate the way he's played this innings. He's been looking to score, he's been aggressive, and on that occasion looking to hit Hartley straight, just slightly leg side but straightish, and he's quick on his feet, got to the pitch. And what happens, of course, is that Jennings immediately goes back onto the boundary at deep long on.
Takes him for a single now. Warner will be screaming.
Well, looking to get it on the leg side for a single. I mean, that is side but straightish.
Shane Warne,
but it's quick on his feet, got to the pitch. And what happens, of course, is that Jennings immediately goes. Classic bowling philosophy as well. Must keep the batsman under pressure, keep them pinned down. 112 for 2.
Yeah, that was something I think that Daniel Bell-Drummond did well with Matt Parkinson. Got to a period where it was, he needs a passage of play where he can just bowl at one of the batsmen. So he dropped the field back a little bit, not onto the fence, but saving a single, so that Parkinson could just get into some rhythm and challenge the batsman over a period of time. I think Lancashire would have benefited from a bit of that, because there's plenty in it for Hartley and Lyne. Also, when they were changing ends, I know George Balderson has been impressive. I would have given it to Luke Wells, though.
Yeah, I'm with you there. Just an over of
absolutely
leg spin from Wells. I know he's only really a part-time bowler, but he's better than part-time, to be fair.
Well, he picks up the odd wicket, doesn't he? He's different. Anyhow, here's Lyne. See if Nathan Lyne can get a little bit of drift away from leaning and then spin it back through the gate. Not from that line.
No, it's hard turn, the hard spun turn with a bit of bounce. Easy single in the end. Kent edging towards just 50 needed. From a batter's point of view, from a chasing team point of view, they'll be counting down in tens now.
Now outside the line as Bell Drummond looks to work to leg. Remember, he's hitting the pads. He's hitting the pads just a fraction outside the line.
Yeah, it's having to spinning it back from there. The only way he's going to really get an LBW is to come round the wicket.
I'm surprised he hasn't done that, actually, for that reason that you mentioned. You know, hitting it outside the line, there's such a strong amount of turn. You go round the wicket, changes the angle, bringing it back into line with the stumps. .113 for 2. .51 needed for Kent. Breeze has just picked up a touch.
Yeah, flags on top of the pavilion and on top of the media centre. Fluttering nicely.
I hope it's not bringing in the storm from Liverpool that I saw a little earlier on one of the apps.
Well, yeah, I thought the weather was coming from the east, but you're right, it does look... there's a few around, but those thunderstorms that are forecast, you're not quite sure where they're going to hit, are you?
There's no play at Lord's at the moment. And again, the forecast I saw on one of the apps suggests they might not get any at all today, like the first day. We moan about the Manchester weather.
Well, it's not bad. I mean, what you've got in front of you is 18, 19 degrees with a bit of sunshine and a gentle breeze. Can't complain at the moment.
Change of angle from Hartley. He's going to go over the wicket. So a significant change in the field. Bailey is at quite a deepish mid-off on the offside. Point is on the fence. Two men have been pushed across to the leg side. For now, anyway, there's still a fair amount of discussing going on. There's been a lot of this today.
Well, for me, there's been too much. I understand that Lancashire have got few runs to play with, and they're basically they're looking to try and get a wicket every ball, which is not, I think, has been a theme through the commentary. It's not the way to go. You've got to allow the bowlers to get into a bit of a groove of line and length. When the pitch is helping you, there is less need to tinker and vary either your bowling or your field. And it seems as though it's been happening a couple of times and over as a minimum. Field set back at deep mid wicket, deep backward square, mid on.
Hartley has obviously played Test match cricket and knows what he's doing, but Nathan Lyon, as an example, absolutely knows what he's doing. So the only thing I'd say is when they're chopping and changing when Lyon's on, he's got to be cool with it. Otherwise, he'd say, no, hang up.
And the other thing is there's 3 or 4 people. You know, Jennings is out at deep long on. Wells has just said Bruce should go out a leg slip to short fine leg.
Oh, that nearly bowled him round his legs. Certainly an option for Hartley to do that. Fielder does brilliantly. It's Bruce down there, sprawled out in front of the pavilion at the James Anderson end. That was given as a wide. I think that might have come off the pad. Not only that, you've got to give the spinners some leeway there. He's trying to utilise the footholds that are out there. He's not hiding the ball.
Was it given as a wide? That looked as though it was. Yeah. Extraordinary.
Well, as a result, Hartley's gone back round the wicket.
I mean, that's a bizarre decision. I can understand if you could, you know, a bowler and he's bowling 6 down the leg side and the umpires lose patience, but that was quite bizarre.
Well, it nearly bowled it round his legs.
Well, the ball ended up at third man.
Exactly, and Hartley surely can justifiably turn around to the umpire and say, listen, I'm trying to hit the rough. I'm trying to get some turn. It's like T20.
Well, it would have been a wide in white ball, there's no question, but not red ball. Paul Pollard, the umpire, who made that decision.
Last ball of the 41st. Not a great one from Hartley. He allows leading to comfortably knock that on the offside for 1. Now, a little earlier today, we had this out in the middle. Great to see Saqib.
Yeah, Saqib Mahmood just going through his paces, bowling at decent pace this morning in the presence of Craig White, Sam Byrne, the physio, George Lavelle doing the keeping. I think focusing on appearing for Lancashire on Friday at Trent Bridge when they play Nottinghamshire. And Lancashire need what he provides, a little bit of extra pace, incisive, quick bowling. There he is now in the nets. Second spell of the morning. Been walking round the ground for 40 minutes as well in the company of Sam Byrne round the boundary. And he's in the nets now, bowling a few more overs, getting that workload up. So good to see him approaching full fitness and get him out there on the field for a concerted period of time.
Type and a style of bowler that would be priceless here at Old Trafford with the surface. Quick, can get the ball to reverse swing on the abrasive surface. That was quicker, very quick from Lyon.
Stopped on him a little.
Silly point, short leg, a slit for Lyon. As well as long on and deep mid wicket, and quite a fine sweep man on the fence as well. A little bit short from Lyon, and Leaning was very quickly picking the length and getting onto the back foot. A nice little controlled punch for 3 on the offside. Looking at the 3 fielders that are currently on the leg side, and unless Bell Drummond or Leaning have a mad rush of blood, I'm not sure what they're doing out there.
Oh, I'm with you. I can't fathom that, but I'm not going to argue with Nathan Lyon. The experience and the wickets he's got under his belt.
I suppose he's thinking he doesn't want an easy boundary or a relative, potentially easier boundary with a slog sweep, but what you are allowing, I mean, he's hit that straight at mid-wicket, an opportunity to do that and knock it for 1.
Yeah, those runs required just being chalked off now.
Oh, that's close. Bell Drummond got into a bit of a pickle with that from Nathan Lyon, round the wicket.
Almost an afterthought. I think he thought about leaving it, and then as the ball turned back into him, thought about trying to chop it down to 3rd. Missed everything.
Well, we've got the Brian Statham end, where we're commentating from. And the Pavilion end is now the James Anderson end, 2 of England's greatest, honoured with the ends being named after them. Not afforded, though, the grand signage that you perhaps would expect.
Needs a bit more prominence, I think. You've got plenty of other signage up there, but you can't read it now, can you? It's disappeared under the clock. Something that Lancashire need to address, I feel. And the Statham sign is, the Brian Statham end sign is similar on the media centre.
Another short ball this time, powerfully pulled away from Daniel Bell Drummond. That's a very, very good shot. Read the length extremely quickly. Not a great delivery, but well put away.
Yeah, you're seeing the issue that Jennings has here in terms of the field placings, which we've been slightly critical of, getting the men set back. He's having to set the fielders back because of the odd bad ball from Hartley. It's turned better, a bit fuller. But Hartley just dragging 1 or 2 down, a fraction short, allows Bell Drummond and Leaning to just get on the back foot, push the ball away into the leg or offside.
It's well done by short leg. George Bell is under the protective helmet. Runs flowing now a little bit for Kent. Target has been reduced. that's a good run. But again, it's an easy single. Jennings himself is just too deep. Not able to stop that single. So only 35 needed. Now looking a little further ahead, it's going to come round quickly this Saturday, May the 11th. Heather Knight and her team take on Pakistan's women at Edgbaston at 2 o'clock on Sky Sports Cricket. On the 22nd, Joss Butler and his men's team also take on Pakistan at 6 o'clock on Sky Sports Cricket, as both the men's and the women's sides get prepared for the World T20. For Butler and his team, that's in the Caribbean in June. For Heather and her charges, that's in Bangladesh in October. So international T20 cricket coming your way from both the men's and women's game. Hard to pick a winner in the men's World T20, Walt. Some good sides out there.
Yeah, it's going to be a fascinating tournament out in the Caribbean and the United States.
Gone! The angle from round the wicket has worked for Nathan Lyon. Leaning, expecting that ball to spin back at him. It sort of slid on, perhaps slightly quicker, and a sharp catch taken.
Well, is there a twist, I wonder? Nathan Lyon back round the wicket, playing back to a full ball. It was the pace of the ball that deceived Leaning. Good catch from Wells at first slip. Leaning has gone for 16. It's 129 for 2.
.35 runs needed from Kent. They're now 3 down. Is there a twist here at Old Trafford? Nathan Lyon has picked up his second wicket with a clever bit of bowling. Round the wicket to Leaning. Quicker ball, which was beautifully taken off the outside edge by Luke Wells at first slip. Leaning gone, but Kent can lean on the experience of Joe Denley, 38 years of age. Lyon is back over the wicket for Denley, and he's posted a slip, a leg slip, and a short leg. Still with those 3 men on the leg side boundary to the new batsman.
Well, as I say, I'm not arguing with Nathan Lyon if that's what he wants, and I'm sure it is, because he ain't being told by the captain what field to bowl to. That's what he's happy with.
Some spin back in at Denley.
And a bit of bounce as well. High up on the bat or even the glove of Denley.
Well, he was caught long on in the first innings. I'm not sure we'll see that again from Joe Denley. Or he goes again, maybe we will. He's nearly pinned his captain at the non-strikers, but He's off the mark. 130 for 3. Now what's going on up at Headingley? Well, there was a run fest from Yorkshire in their first innings. Glamorgan going okay second time round, with North East unbeaten on 74 and Ingram on 72. So Glamorgan still trail by 66 up in Leeds. Down in Leeds, actually, I should say. From here, is it a bit geography right? Across in Leeds.
Across. You have to go up and then down over the Pennines.
I see.
You know.
Thank you. So it wasn't a great over from Hartley, from the Brian Statham end. So Keaton Jennings is going to turn to the seam of Tom Bailey.
Well, senior bowler coming on, but I might have been tempted to bowl Luke Wells with a bit of spin at this stage. You just never know. Might get a bit of exaggerated turn and bounce. Bowling is.
So we got a deep backward point, fine leg. Mid wicket is on the fence. One slip, which is sort of a second slip. And we've got 2 catches on the drive leg side.
Well, Kent will be happy with this, I think, seeing medium fast Bailey bowling at this stage.
Yeah, but I'm with you. I mean, time is definitely, runs are definitely running out for Keaton Jennings and Lancashire, but just something a bit different would have been Luke Wells with his unusual sort of leg spin. Bowling for a strangle down the leg side.
Well, he's got his 2 short mid wickets in place, but needs to be nipping it back from outside off stump. Small field place adjustment going on. All 2 balls. And having a leg slip in, I think.
Keaton Jennings now stationed at the leg slip. Pulled away by Daniel Bell Drummond with some authority. Bit too easy.
Commonly known as a hit-me ball. Half tracker. No great pace, flat pitch. And, smacked away. Got what it deserved.
He's coming back for 2. That's very good running from Bell Drummond. Sort of plays that unusual shot where he sort of drops the bat down right at the last minute with his top hand and pushes it out into the offside.
Yeah, it's hardly a classic stroke, is it? But he does that frequently, actually. Take nothing away from him. He's played well. 67 not out.
Cool, hasn't he just? Pulled away again. This is poor from Bailey. 2 drag downs have got exactly what they deserved. And the target is now into the low 20s for Kent.
This over has just eased the pressure on Kent Good aggressive play from Bell Drummond. 2 balls that needed hitting and got hit. Pick up 2 boundaries.
Probably look for 2 again. This time he settles for 1. Very good over for Kent and their captain, Bell Drummond. 142 for 3.
"22 runs away then from a rare victory here at Old Trafford for Kent. Kent and Lancashire begun this, their 4th county championship match of the summer, in 9th and 10th. Daniel Bell Drummond is leading the way. It's been a good game for the Kent captain. He was buoyed by being able to call upon the services of overseas fast bowler Wes Agar. He bowled quite magnificently, was the standout seam bowler in the contest. Made a tricky decision to enforce the follow-on and is now seeing his side home. Afternoon, Nas.
Good afternoon, Mark. Yeah, he's had a good game, Bell Drummond. He's in good nick, isn't he? He's got 200s already this season. Almost played the perfect game here, Kent. Lancashire will look at that 92 all out in their first innings, not giving their spinners enough to bowl and secure on the last day.
Yeah, they were 101 for 1 as well, following on. You can imagine, given the turn that we've seen from Lyon, had they managed to put 200, 250 on the board, that things might have turned out differently for them. Been 1 or 2 positives for Lancashire. Batting and bowling of Balderson. Bell made an excellent 50, as did Hurst, so 3 youngsters in the batting lineup, showing some fight second time round. But Lyon aside, you'd have to say that the Lancashire's bowling attack is in need of an injection of a bit of spite, bit of pace. Hakeem Mahmood has been out bowling on the middle over the last 2 or 3 days, so he's making a return to fitness, and they could do with a cutting edge like that going forward. Shouts and catch it. Just gets over the head of the man at leg slip.
There were 2 noises, and with it giving as a run, the umpire feels it came off bat or even glove onto pad. It's given as a run. Anyway, it ballooned over leg slip. Bell Drummond will keep the strike.
Yeah, I'm not sure he made any sort of contact with that, but it matters not now. He's had 1 or 2 alarms over the course of this excellent captain's innings, but has stood firm. I do wonder at times that my feeling at the beginning of the day was that Lancashire's route to victory would be, yes, you'd keep maybe 2 catches in, slip short leg for both the spinners, and then have a ring field, try to create some pressure, not allow the strike to be rotated. They saw it differently, had multiple catches in, men back on the boundary. It's not a raging turner by any means, so pressure perhaps was as much a weapon for them as the excellence of Lyon and the young and inexperienced Hartley. It's been relatively comfortable, you'd say, for Kent, this run chase.
Yeah, you're probably the first commentator that said that they've got too many catchers in. Normal commentator rule, get another catcher in. You're saying they had too many. And the previous commentators were calling for Luke Wells, and that's exactly where the skipper's gone. The leg spin of Wells.
I suppose as a captain, you've got to work out what you least desire in many ways. Now, for me, I would have been very, very annoyed about singles in that scenario, with batters not really looking to be hyper aggressive. Jennings was obviously concerned about the lack of runs and was trying to protect boundaries and take wickets at the same time, which allowed Kent just to nudge the ball around and score in a risk-free manner. You're almost on a hiding to nothing with only 93 to defend and the opposition with 9 wickets in hand, so I think I'd have preferred to see them get there playing a few shots rather than just inching their way by gliding the ball around into gaps.
Interesting to see leg slip and slip, regulation slip with a lid on.
Standout players for you in the game, Nas?
Well, I like Balderson. Obviously, we've mentioned Bell Drummond. The overseas in Nathan Lyon just shows his class completely all the way through. And I think more than standout player, the standout session was the last hour last night and the first hour this morning. 2 good players at the crease, Compton and Bell Drummond, 2 good spinners going at them. I think you need more of that in county cricket. You know, you talk about when you go to India and Pakistan and Sri Lanka, they don't have to be raging turners, they just need to be like this. Good pitch, 147 for 3.
Well, plenty to ponder for Lancashire skipper Keaton Jennings. He will know in his heart of hearts that had their batters been able to eke out more runs, certainly in the first innings, but particularly given the opportunity in the second, just short of leg slip. Had the opportunity on probably the best day for batting, which was day 3, to really put Kent under some pressure. Just land short of the man at leg slip in this 3rd innings, but as it was, we're unable to make a score of over 400 and give Lyon something to really get his teeth into.
Other things that have been good have been the catching round the bat, the keeping. I mean, that take from Finch was unbelievable down the leg side. And what it does, pitches like this and situations like this with line bowling and men round the bat, it tests your captaincy, as you've just mentioned. Should you have more men in or less? Tests your men round the bat, the catching. We've seen people diving short, going over their head.
Also shows surfaces like Old Trafford always show up a sort of lack of quality in terms of your seam bowling as well. You need that extra bit of pace here, good control, and well, for me, I'd be tempted to make Wes Agar player of the match if there was such an award for the county championship. His contributions were excellent throughout.
That's commitment to the cause there from your overseas, diving full length even though he knew there was no bat involved. Denley kicking that away in the end. Yeah, Agar and Gilchrist bowl nicely as well. The balanced attack, isn't it, Butch? Having that balance first time round, have someone that can just zip it at pace, and second time round, Parkinson bowl nicely, just to get a balanced attack. .149 for 3. Talking about close catching and wicket keeping, this for me was the moment of the game. Quite brilliant bit of wicket keeping from Finch down the leg side, unsighted. Keaton Jennings, an excellent player of spin who could have taken the game away from you second time round, and Harry Finch was quite brilliant.
Yeah, it was late on day 2, wasn't it? The end of day 2, having been asked to follow on, Lancashire were 4 down, and perhaps their chances of putting 250 on Kent in the final innings were gone at that time. The youngsters, as I mentioned before, Balderson, who's 23, battled away for 48. Bell made a really nice 65 from 143 deliveries. Hurst, who is only 20 years old, the keeper batter, also gave a little bit of cause for cheer to the Lancashire members. Trying to blood some new players. There's a lot of experienced players away in the IPL, etc. And those 3 stood up and fought hard in that second innings for Lancashire. 150 comes up, and the game is really into its last rites now. 14 required. Lucky to get away with that one. Oh, well bowled. Not picked by Bell Drummond. Got the almost the end of the handle on it, as well as a chunk of glove, as the googly jagged back at him.
Yeah, wrist spinners always get bounce here as well, don't they? Whether it be the top spinner or the googly. May not land them all perfectly, but when they do, they're a handful.
He's played really nicely there throughout the innings, whether it be with the ball turning into him from Nathan Lyon or hitting slightly into the spin.
But even here, Mark, you know, with 12 needed, you've got men out. It could be time just to bring him up and say to Joe Denley, you didn't get many in the first innings, you want to go over the top.
I'll be honest, I've given up talking about it now. It's been don't think they had quite had the plan right from the beginning of the day to really put Kent under pressure. And as a result, Bell Drummond is very close to leading his side to a first victory at Old Trafford since '97.
Don't know if he's not been well or if that spinning finger is just a bit sore. He was holding his rib earlier, but he has been off the field twice now between overs. Nathan Lyon is happy to carry on. Maybe the finger. He's holding it and looking down at it occasionally.
Maybe overhydrated. the Duke's ball, that seam can be quite harsh on the finger spinners. Nicely glided down in the third man region by Denley. Now down into single figures. It's been the story of the morning. Batters just nudging easy singles. I think of one or two big shots actually. Both of them were miscued. Compton smeared one over mid-wicket, aiming over mid-on. Denley, to get off the mark, tried to launch one into the pavilion and crudded it to mid-on. When the batters have been tempted to play a big shot, it's almost been their downfall. Compton was dropped off a sweep shot after a succession of dot balls built the pressure up on him.
Yeah, I mean, Nathan Lyon is an experienced cricketer. He could say to Keaton Jennings, bring my field up, Skip. I've got 530 test wickets.
That big shot is nailed though. Whistling past the head of George Bell at short leg. Now we're one hit away from Kent taking the points and lifting themselves clear of that bottom two. Smile, you're on camera. Well, they'll have plenty of time to use that bat and ball out in the outfield if they're allowed here at Emirates Old Trafford, because this one is nearly done. Oh, in the air. Just evades the outstretched left hand of Bell. Sharp turn in the case of what might have been for Lancashire had their batters been better. 162 for 3. So 7 wickets in the match for Wes Agar, 8 for Nathan Gilchrist. Runs for skipper Bell Drummond in the second innings in the run chase. Joey Everson making 71 in the first innings was crucial, getting Kent up to 261 in tricky conditions. So plenty of performances to be proud of in that Kent dressing room. Field finally does come in with 2 required. will be that. Roars go up from the away dressing room as Kent score a rare win here at Old Trafford against Lancashire. They've done it the hard way. Taking 20 wickets here is not always straightforward. Not only that, they did it after asking the opposition to follow on. Daniel Bell-Drummond is the hero of the day. 79 not out for the Kent skipper. He has safely negotiated all of the problems posed to him by Lyon and Hartley on this final day on a pitch that was taking increasing turn. And they will lift themselves clear of Lancashire, leaving them languishing down at the bottom of Division 1.
Yeah, a rare win and a good win. A real team performance. The Seamers, Agar and Gilchrist with wickets. Parkinson, when it started to spin, played a role. And the skipper, Daniel Bell-Drummond, played beautifully. So plenty of work for Lancashire to do, in particular their batting lineup. They were under par in the first innings, having been bowled out for 92. Both sides came into this game needing a win, and this was the moment that Kent secured their first win of the county championship season. A drag down long hop, and Denley put it away.
Yep, the losers trudge off the park, and for the victors, Kent, will be celebrations on the coach ride home. Here's how they did it, needing 164 for victory. Crawley went early, and that was a real fillip for Lancashire, as they felt that he was the main man. Compton stuck around, as he does, 29 from 91. Leaning came and went with 16, but Bell-Drummond stood firm, played really well at times, was under great control of his game, with 79 from 157, and the experienced Joe Denley was there at the end to hit the winning runs, 19 from 21.
Well, the bowlers just didn't have enough to defend in that second innings. Bailey looks a little bit short of a gallop. He doesn't look in rhythm that we normally see from him. Balderson does. He got the wicket yesterday of Zach Crawley. 2 for Lyon, who was the major threat, 2 for 48. 13 overs, none for 42 from Tom Hartley.
So Kent 261, Lancashire bundled out for 92 in tough conditions, under the lights, in the gloom here at Old Trafford. Gilchrist was 6 for 24. Agar was also superb with 4 wickets. Agar again with 3 in Lancashire's second innings, as they made a really good fist of it with 3-2, and Kent winning by 7 wickets.
What does that mean to the table? Yesterday, Somerset had beaten Essex. They moved up to second, and at the bottom, Lancashire are rooted to the bottom. 4 matches played, yet to win, and that win for Kent brings them their first win. They move up to 6th spot with 46 points.
Right, just about done here, but Ian Ward has a very happy Daniel Bell-Drummond with him downstairs.
I'm sure he is a very happy Daniel Bell-Drummond. Thank you, Butch. Daniel joins myself and Michael. Congratulations. Let's look at the whole picture. You needed to win. You're up to 6. How proud are you of the whole team's performance over the last 4 days?
Yeah, very proud. It's been a tough start. Yeah, coming to a tough place, Old Trafford. Lanc's a very good team, so no, it's been a great 4 days. We worked really hard for it as well. They've pushed us every day, so we're glad to get the win in the end.
Can I ask you about the big decision you had to make about the declaration? I mean, some declarations are fairly straightforward. That one didn't look like it was straightforward. Can you talk us through your thought process?
Yeah, there was a lot of thinking behind it. I just thought the guys were on a roll with the ball. We had only bowled 30-odd overs, and I didn't know it was going to be sunny that evening. So we just thought, put them under pressure again, try and get them 3-4 down, which we did in the end. Probably gave them a couple too many, but no, back end of the day I was fretting a bit. So
you came off, didn't you, and obviously had a chat with some of the coaches, and then you seemed to go back on and have a chat with the bowlers, and presumably you put it slightly back in their court to say, how are you feeling, lads, can you do it for me?
Yeah, exactly that. I don't know how they were feeling, but I kind of put the pressure on them. And then, yeah, we went again. But big credit to them. They bowled so well, ran in all game, the big 3 lads. And, yeah, they got their awards as well.
You said it's been a tough start for the club, which it has, but it's been a terrific start for the season for you. You've now got 200s. and a 70 against Surrey and an unbeaten 79 here. Are you playing as well as you have? What has been your preparation ahead of this season, and why the particularly strong start for you, do you think?
I'm in a good period in my career. I had a good year last year as well, so yeah, I'm batting with a lot of confidence. I know my game very well at the minute, so yeah, cricket is a funny game, you never know, so I'm just trying to cash in at the minute, but no, I feel very confident at the moment.
You're 30 now, so you really should be entering into that golden period, those 2 or 3 prime years, really.
100%, definitely feels that way, but yeah, I need to keep it going for sure.
You're saying you're old, basically.
My
Experienced.
prime.
In your prime. How does captaincy sit with you? Do you enjoy the responsibility? Do you think that's helped your game?
Yeah, I think it's definitely helped. Obviously, being a normal player, you give back to the team, but you're there to score runs and focus on yourself. But yeah, it's been a good change for me, a good challenge. And yeah, I think I found out I was captain last October, so I had a good time to prepare and plan things. But yeah, I've enjoyed it at the minute. I'm sure there's always good and bad days with it, as you both know. But yeah, for the moment, it's going well for me personally, and hopefully we can get more wins on the board.
Just finally, you must be delighted with the close catching as well. Some of the catching and that stumping was phenomenal.
It was brilliant. The guys worked so hard at it, and yeah, in close games like this, it turned out to be a good victory for us. But if we didn't break those key partnerships with the good catching, it might be a completely different game. So credit goes to the guys for the good fielding.
Well, congratulations on the win and well played to you. Fantastic.
Yeah. Thank you. Cheers, guys.
Well Thank you very much. Cheers, Daniel.
Well done.
What a thoroughly lovely man and a very good player.
Very good player. Yeah, he's been a good player for a long time. And as he said, you know, when you think about what are the prime years of a professional batter's life, then you're probably thinking 27, 28 to about 32, 33. You know, you've gained all that experience by the time you get to your late 20s, but you're still physically in your prime, and you should have enough hunger and ambition still to go on to other things. So it could be a good couple of years, for good 2 or 3 years for Daniel Bell Drummond.
What impressed you with him today in terms of the state of the game and the conditions and the bowlers he was facing?
Yeah, I mean, pretty calm, really. He said just before we went on air, he said, oh, that was quite a tough pitch by the end. So, you know, it was spinning, and when you get spin here at Old Trafford, you get that bounce as well, and you're facing an off-spinner with 500 Test match wickets, as good as there is in the game today, and obviously Tom Hartley is an international spinner at the other end. So it was not by any means a straightforward chase for Kent today, but I thought Daniel exuded a lot of confidence and calm at the crease. He's obviously in good form, and that helps. So yeah, they thoroughly deserve their win. They outplayed Lancashire over 3 and a bit days.
And he got the declaration right. Not the declaration.
The follow-on. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't straightforward because, you know, when you've got the opposition with Hartley and Lyon in their side, and obviously Lancashire inserted Kent because they want to try and just bat once and then unleash the spinners. By enforcing the follow-on, you do slightly open the door for the opposition, and it's an unfashionable thing to do now. Now, when I played and when I was captain, generally captains enforce the follow-on much more than they do now, but for all kinds of reasons, scheduling and, you know, other reasons, that it's not as fashionable to do now. So, but I was pleased that he did it. I thought it was the right decision, even though if it goes wrong, it slightly opens the door for Lancashire, because you've got to factor in weather here. The pitch is never going to disintegrate, so you shouldn't be worried about it completely breaking up at the end of the game, even though you know you're going to have to bat well if you're batting last. But I felt that they were just going for the jugular. You know, they had Lancashire down, 90-odd all out. There were still floodlights on, heavy cloud cover, and he went for the jugular. And I like a captain that, you know, really goes for it.
And finally on Lancashire, what can they take from this game? What did you make of them over the last 4 days?
I thought they looked a bit one-paced with the ball. They're obviously missing Luke Wood, who's at IPL. They're missing Saqib, who's still injured, Saqib Mahmood, who will come back into the side. I think they're hoping he might play the next championship game. But they obviously got a lot of faith in their spin attack, but they look a little one-pace with the ball. So an injection of pace would be a good thing. And clearly the batting in the first innings, you know, it wasn't a straightforward pitch, and with the lights and the cloud cover, but it's not a 92 all-out pitch. And when you've got quality spinners like Nathan Lyon and Tom Hartley, you just need more runs on the board. You know, if Lancashire had another 60 or 70 to play with, it might have been a very different game.
But they didn't. It was all about Kent. Michael, thank you very much indeed. An excellent performance from Daniel Bell Drummond and his team. They take the points here at Emirates Old Trafford, and they move up to 6th in Division 1 of the County Championship. Right, international cricket to look forward to. Heather Knight's side are in action at Birmingham against Pakistan women at 2 o'clock, and then a little later we'll see Joss Butler and his team in action action as well against Pakistan's men, as both Heather and Joss build towards World T20s. But here, Emirates Old Trafford, Kent take the points.
"1864. We were first class then, and we're first class now, with a dream to spread cricket through Lancashire's towns, where girls and boys, with willow and leather, become more than a badge, but the red rose together."
A club where more than legends are made, but friendships, obsessions, moments replayed on our screens, in our minds, in our hearts forever. 'Cause it's who we are, our DNA, the red rose together.
Statham, Briggs, Jimmy, Freddie and Joss, Chappie, Sir Clive Lloyd, Carol Hodges, Kate Cross. What a roll call. It's a hard one to measure, with future names still to be written on the red rose together.
We're all about people. It's what the red rose really means. Yeah, the ones signing autographs, but the ones behind the scenes.
Our community, grassroots, the ones that feel tethered. Whether you're from here or belong here, we're the red rose together.
And what about this place? Talk about world-class venues, internationals, gigs, events. You can choose from a menu of triumph, of disaster, of pain, or pleasure.
We've seen it all at Emirates Old Trafford, with the red rose together.
Red ball, white ball, lightning and thunder.
Have you ever sat back? Have you ever just wondered how far we've come? The storms we've weathered, or how far we'll go as the red rose together.
Welcome to Conrad Dubai. Here's your key.
Thank you. Let me help you with the bags.
Nice room.
How's that? How's that?
How's that?
In 1954, Cyril Washbrook became the first professional captain of the county.
Lancashire have won a tremendous victory here. Indeed he has, and his gracious, what a morning.
Well, the real suspect instinct from Hagan's Fairbrother.
Fine chance to run to the winning hit. On come the crowd.
This is a call for hungry dreamers and hard-working self-believers. Success is down to more than just luck and talent. It's striving to be the best, breaking the boundaries and never giving up. Are you ready to become your best self? Are you ready to unlock your greatness? So what are you waiting for? This is Education Evolved. This is UA 92.
All the fun and all the games, they all start here with All Stars Cricket. All new experiences for everyone. All over the country. Every session is all-out action all the time. All are welcome, all invited. Even mums and dads. Skills, friendships, smiles, dreams. It all happens here. All you need is delivered right to your door. Best of all, it even has your name on it. All the activators are fully trained. And all they want is for us to have a great time. Always. Tap, ball, catch, throw, try it all. It's time to go all in, all together. And it all starts with All Stars. All you need to get started is at allstarscricket.co.uk.
When I was a kid, there was no professional women's cricket. I didn't even think that women could be professional sports people.
Especially early on, it just didn't really seem like there was a career in it.
To support myself around cricket, I had to work at the petrol garage.
I was the only girl, so I stood out.
I'd love for young girls to be able to dream about being an athlete and it to be achievable.
Thanks to the Hilton funding my contract, it's allowed me to play the game that I love all day, every day.
We're like an engine and we need to be fueled with the right gas.
Without funding, we can't be visible. You can't be what you can't see.
As a team, it feels like we're breaking boundaries.
Thunder and Lancashire always want to put women's cricket at the forefront, and now I think that's really shining through.
It's mad to think that without the Hilton funding, like, we wouldn't be playing cricket every day, training.
Well, we could be, but we wouldn't have any money.
Yeah, true.